Going into Dexter Season 3, I was buzzing with excitement. Season 2 had left such a strong impression on me with its tight writing, suffocating tension, and deep dive into Dexter's double life as both a blood spatter analyst and the Bayaru butcher. So naturally, I had high hopes this season would keep the momentum going. Everything I'd heard pointed to it being another character-driven story, one that pushed Dexter into new emotional territory. The idea of him forming genuine bonds and maybe even letting someone in on his secret felt like the perfect next step in his arc. And I'm glad to say I absolutely loved it.
I love you.
Season 3 might not have quite the same overwhelming paranoia of Season 2, but what it does bring to the table is just as compelling in its own way. What really stuck out to me this time was how much more character-driven the story felt. We got to see Dexter trying to evolve, trying to move beyond being just a Behalbu butcher hiding in plain sight, and instead of dipping into new territory, friendship, trust, and even questioning what his role in life really is. I found myself hooked from beginning to end, and while not every single moment is perfect, the highs are so strong that they carry the season into being one of my favorites so far. The story kicks off when Dexter accidentally kills Oscar's brother, drawing him into a dangerous bond with Miguel, Oscar's brother, and the powerful ADA. Their twisted friendship becomes the season's core, while the Skinner killer adds extra tension in Miami. Miguel Prado is easily the standout character of this season. At first, you want to believe he might actually be good for Dexter. Here's this powerful, passionate lawyer who seems to genuinely care about justice, and for a while you can almost buy into the illusion that Dexter has finally found someone who won't judge him. Their bond is written with such complexity. You can see Dexter wrestle with the idea of trust, wondering if he can really share his secret, and for the first time, he allows himself to open up to someone outside of his father's code. Of course, this becomes a dangerous experiment, because Miguel slowly reveals that he doesn't just want to understand Dexter, he wants to exploit Dexter's darkness for his own ends. Watching Miguel's mask slip is one of the best parts of the season. Jimmy Smith plays him with such charm and intensity that when the betrayal comes, it hurts almost as much for the audience as it does for Dexter. Rita also takes big steps forward this season. In Season 2, I often found her frustrating because she felt written mostly as an obstacle for Dexter, someone constantly reacting rather than developing on her own. But in Season 3, she's much more layered. Her relationship with Dexter grows warmer and more genuine, especially as the two of them start moving toward marriage and preparing for a baby. It grounds the season in a more domestic, emotional reality, giving Dexter something real to fight for outside of his dark passenger. Rita feels like she has her own agency now, and the way she helps ensure Dexter makes her scenes together some of the most heartfelt of the series so far. Thematically, Season 3 is fascinating because it focuses so heavily on trust and identity. For 2 seasons, Dexter has been a lone wolf, carefully hiding his secret and never letting anyone in. Now, with Miguel, he tests the boundaries of what it means to truly be seen and accepted. This raises new questions. Can Dexter form a real friendship? Can he share his true self without everything falling apart? Is it possible for someone like him to find companionship? Those questions drive the season tension, and the answers are as messy as you'd expect. On top of that, his growing commitment to Rita and his soon-to-be child adds another layer. Can Dexter be a good husband and father while still being a killer? These dual struggles, friendship with Miguel and family with Rita, make Season 3 feel like the most personal season so far. The acting this season deserves huge praise. Michael C. Hall continues to blow me away with his performance. He gives Dexter so much subtlety. He can be cold, calculating, and detached in one moment, then slip into warmth and vulnerability the next, making you believe that maybe, just maybe, he could live a normal life. Jimmy Smith as Miguel is phenomenal. He's magnetic, unpredictable, and brings a charisma that makes his betrayal all the more devastating. Julie Benz as Rita feels more grounded this season, and their chemistry with Hall shines through more than ever. Even the supporting cast, Deborah, Batista, Masuka, add to the season's flavor, balancing dark tension with moments of levity and emotional honesty. As for the villains, I have to be honest, the Skinner is pretty underwhelming. On paper, he should be terrifying, someone who kidnaps people and literally skins them alive. But in execution, he just doesn't leave much of a mark. He doesn't have the depth of Brian the Ice Truck Killer or the relentless tension that Dogs brought in Season 2. The Skinner feels like a generic serial killer of the week, and stretched out into a season-long arc. His scenes never had me on edge the way other antagonists did. That said, Miguel Prado more than makes up for this, because I'd argue that Miguel is the true villain of Season 3. His fall from Dexter's trusted confidant to dangerous adversary is perfectly paced, and the way the writers play with that moral gray area, how much of Miguel is genuinely corrupt versus how much Dexter influenced him, is brilliant. If the Skinner had been stronger, this season might have been flawless, but with Miguel, we still get one of the most compelling adversaries Dexter has faced. So overall, Dexter Season 3 might not match the non-stop tension of Season 2, but it shines by diving deeper into Dexter's psyche and relationships. Miguel is a standout antagonist, Rita is more likable, and Dexter's growth feels natural and compelling. The Skinner is weak, but the overall season is fantastic. An easy 9.75 out of 10, and another reason Dexter stands out as one of the best shows ever made. But that's just my take. What do you think? Do you agree that Miguel was the true villain of Season 3? Did you find the Skinner disappointing? Or did he work better for you than he did for me? And how do you feel about the evolution of Dexter and Rita's relationship this season? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive into Season 3. Can't wait to continue their journey and see what comes next. Until then, take care and goodbye for now.